happy Moon Day, all you magnificent light workers, and happy 4th of July. You're the real fireworks in this world, right? Yeah, we hardly need any display in the sky at night because you're all just becoming more and more radiant with all the light and information coming into the earth and into your cellular structure. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the moon and a couple of things happening this week. As we begin this week today, the moon's in Virgo, and that's kind of an interesting place for to be on the 4th of July because it makes us feel in a way like a morning, at least the morning where we can get some things done. So you might want to move forward on getting your ducks in a row for the first quarter phase that's going to happen in a couple of days. But right now, allow yourself to be of service to yourself. Virgo is the service sign. It's also the sign of the Virgin, which actually originally, in its the etymology, the word meant a self-contained woman. So the self-contained feminine. Yeah. And we're going to talk today a little bit about what does freedom mean? And where is freedom in the zodiac? How can we use our signs and the characteristics to create freedom? We're in the Aquarian age and we've got Saturn moving in retrograde motion. And it's said that the things people fear the most, other than public speaking, is responsibility. That this is what people fear, knowing that they are responsible, which is a fundamental step to moving up into your creatorship, into that awareness that you create your reality. You can see I've got my 4th of July earrings on. They get trotted out once a year just for you today. So I've got red and blue, a little bit of white, but Virgo is the color of white is the color for Virgo, and it represents purity. So it reminds us to purify our lives, that God is in the details, and to not get sidetracked by too many details, but remember our view of the forest, not get too lost in the trees, but know which trees are important, which should we prioritize. We've only got a couple of planetary movements this month in July. Ceres is going to move into Leo on the 24th, and Jupiter will be moving in retrograde motion, joining the retrograde parade on the 28th, and it'll be in retrograde motion until November. And I'll be talking about that later, but it's really the fireworks created by the angles that planets are making to each other. And one of the reasons that I love working with the moon is because it is your guide to navigate the chaos. How can you walk on a moving train or on a boat in a roiling ocean? Well, you are that ocean, and understanding the rhythms of the moon guides you to how to navigate. So the moon's at about 15 degrees of Virgo right now, and it's interesting to track the moon through your own chart. I'm going to be teaching a class on that at some point, because right now the moon is in my 12th house, the house of hidden things. And it's always a kind of a dicey little walk that I do when it's in the 12th house. So it's really good to know when the moon's in the 12th house, because it goes deep into the unconscious and stirs stuff up emotionally. And then it's kind of like everything comes out into the light of day when it crosses over your ascendant. So that's just one example of how beneficial it can be to track the moon in your own chart and in your own life, so that you can know what's really happening with 70 to 80% of your psyche, which is your amount of water in your body. If you're out there, I know it's a holiday. I don't know who's listening, but I would love for you to check in. Let me know if you're watching right now. And also, if you watch the replay, please let me know you're there. And go to my YouTube channel, also for the replay, Claudia Thompson, Moon Powered Astrologer, and subscribe. And tell your friends and share, your insights with others. And, I just hope it's of benefit to you. I hope that's what this show is all about for me. So, of course, the first thing we're going to do, even though we've got a Mercury-ruled moon, which can be very head-oriented, we're going to drop into our hearts. So put your feet on the floor, palms up in your lap. Begin to just let the breath come and go as you gently close your eyes. Notice where the breath is in your body as you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Become more and more present, feeling the chair you're sitting on support your hips, knowing that your breathing begins all the way down below the soles of your feet as you breathe in the grounding, sustaining energy of the earth that loves you unconditionally and provides for you unconditionally. So feel that next breath wafting up through your feet, the calves of your legs, your thighs, your hips, your pelvic area, up through your torso, all the way up through your chest, up through your facial mask, all the way up to the top of your head. And it joins with white light that's pouring down through your crown chakra as you exhale. Welcome the breath, the prana, the pure life force of source into every cell of your body. You know, there is no disease that can flourish if there's enough oxygen. Cancer particularly does not thrive in an oxygen-rich atmosphere. So mindful breathing. But now on this next breath, we're going to drop that mind down. As we exhale, our attention drops from the thinkety-think of the mind down behind our face, through our throat, through our chest, down into our heart. Do that breath a couple more times. As that light and your consciousness drops into your heart. And as the light moves into your heart, it's tinged with a beautiful rose gold of self-love. And you see that light move out and fill every cell of your body, all the way to the tips of your toes and the tips of your fingers. You feel your heart open as you welcome more and more love and appreciation for yourself. You can tap on your thoracic region and say to yourself, I deeply love and appreciate myself. I deeply love and appreciate myself. Now breathe in and out of your heart as you realize that the greatest light, a wonderful fireworks display, if you will, is going on in your heart as sparks of love move out through your skin and your whole auric field. The energy field that surrounds you is also filled with love. As you fill your own well with self-love, your heart overflows, and that love moves out to your surroundings, to your world, to all the people you might be celebrating with today, to this country. Loving freedom, loving the opportunity to take responsibility for that freedom and what that means in each of our lives. A couple more breaths, really landing in your heart, breathing in and out of your heart, feeling completely present in this moment with my voice here with me. And open those beautiful eyes and come back. So today we are finishing, that Mars-Pluto square that's been in operation since the 1st. But that might have been gnarly for you over the weekend. It might not have, but it definitely asked us to look at what power means in our lives, what the traditional way of viewing power meets. Good morning, Elisha from Hawaii. Elisha's hailing from Hawaii. Aloha. And Mary, hi, Mary. You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah. And so, we're in the Aquarian age. I was talking to a friend and one of my teachers actually the other day, and she was saying that as far as she's concerned, when the computer was invented in 1935, that's when the Aquarian age was ignited. So we're in it. And Aquarius is about humanity, but it's dual ruled. It's ruled by Uranus, which is a breakthrough planet, break through the chaos to freedom, create with chaos through the chaos, and awaken. It's the great awakener. But Aquarius has to make friends with Saturn first. And that's the responsibility. So Saturn's retrograde right now till late October. And it's asking us to look at where we feel our freedom is limited in our lives and in the lives of humanity. And what's the vision that we have? I feel that the national anthem for the US is actually America the Beautiful. That's my vision. And also Imagine by John Lennon. Imagine there's no countries. And so it's kind of a dance that we do because we see in living technicolor what is happening to our freedoms in this country. And we're also becoming aware that the way this country was founded was very skewed toward one particular group of people. And that was the way this country was at that time. But now it's much more diverse. And the feminine is rising and it's much more powerful and needs to be empowered. And we're recognizing that power is inherent. It's not external. It's not something somebody can give to you. You're given power at birth because you are the I am. So as we move through this week, I'm going to mention some of the aspects, but I really want to move through this week with the moon with you because there are 8 phases of transformation. And I know in the crawler, in the chat, my landing page link will come up. And when you go there, sign up and you'll immediately get moon phases at a glance. You'll immediately get a gift. And then there will be more gifts forthcoming as I develop this more and more. And I'd really love to hear from you about what you would like to know, what you would like to, to receive, so that as I do writing and blogging, I can provide that for you. So practical tasks this morning, we're in the crescent phase. And the crescent phase is the phase that follows the new moon. And as I mentioned earlier, we remain there until Wednesday. So, don't put too much on your plate. Be realistic. This is through this phase, not just today. Be realistic and efficient regarding your time. Your key to doing this is to narrow your focus down to the essential practical steps you need to take. And then have fun, especially today. Have fun. Time invested in your home is a perfect and practical area to focus on now. We remain in the Cancer cycle. This is a month that's all about the moon and our lunar nature. You'll be both grounding and loving yourself as you create a cozy and orderly space, a nest that nurtures yourself and others. And also be aware of how your eating habits are related to emotional stress, and incorporate your breath awareness work from the last cycle to release stress and be present with your food. Whenever possible, eat in a calm, beautiful setting so you're more prone to breathe. Put your fork down between bites. Chew thoroughly. This is something that we don't do in the West, and it creates a lot of expansion of the belly area and it taxes all the digestive organs. So chew thoroughly and really savor the food as it nourishes you on so many levels. You are what you eat. Take the time to allow eating to be a wonderful, conscious ritual of gratitude that affirms your abundance with each bite, a time to come into the present. Connect with your surroundings and be aware of your body's needs. And in your relationships, an open heart coupled with healthy boundaries is what's going to lead to successful relationships. So if old fears or beliefs come up, and that may happen as the moon moves into Scorpio later this week, breathe into your heart and acknowledge the painful memories and old conditioning you need to release. After all, this time of birthing. So, look at what you're papering your nursery with, what you're filling the nursery with for what's you've created in your life over the past 6 months. This old conditioning may be keeping your emotional energy, your magnetic mojo tied up in the past and unable to make a fresh start. So remember that judgment is resistance to love. It's a fear mechanism that closes your heart immediately, and self-love and compassion for others opens it again. And the moon, one of the goddesses that has to do with the moon is Kuan Yin, and she is the goddess of compassion. And in the East, she's quite celebrated. There are many, many statues. I have one about that tall outside my door. She's my go-to gal. Self-compassion, very, very important. And if you happen to be born during a crescent moon phase, target those critical voices from childhood that curb your creativity so you can release them and open up your potential. And that's there for all of us during the crescent phase. And you might ask yourself, what's first on your to-do list? And what resources do you need to kick off those new moon intentions? And what keeps you stuck, which I just mentioned? And how can you use your time more effectively? Those are really the two questions to ask yourself as we're in this phase, as we're in the crescent phase. That was, I read that from a journal. I wrote a journal for 10 years that took everyone through the month, phase by phase, with health and relationships and the general tone, to keep that overarching theme of mothering and self-nurturing and filling your well to overflowing going throughout the cycle. Cancer reminds us that we are emotional beings. And of course, your feelization, the technique that I always use with the new and full moon, guides you to harness those emotions, that ocean of emotion, and turn them into the frequency of feeling that's aligned with what you want to create. So as I mentioned, the Mars square Pluto completes today. And the methods that you've been using, that you've been reassessing, the methods that you've been using to get where you are now, are waiting to be enacted. What are the methods that you've seen work and are going to get you where you want to go and are going to really nurture what you're building and creating? So tomorrow, there's a slow start to the morning. And at 3:24 p.m. tomorrow, the moon moves into harmonious, graceful, balance-oriented Libra. And you may find that you've got better concentration after lunch. I always couch everything according to Pacific Daylight Time. So whatever time zone you're in, adjust for that. So it might be the evening in the East Coast where concentration becomes a little easier. And then on Wednesday, the moon encourages you to truly listen to others. Libra wants to cultivate win-win situations, but it is a cardinal sign and it's opposed by a lot of stuff going on in Aries right now. So remember, when you drop into your heart and you breathe in and out of your heart, it makes it really easy to listen, to take that person's energy in and really hear what they're saying and feel. Cancer cycle, highly intuitive. Feel where they're coming from. Feel where they're at. So the moon on Wednesday, did I skip over? No. Did I mention Tuesday? Tuesday, tomorrow at 3:24 p.m. is when the moon moves into Libra. And Wednesday is when we're really encouraged to listen. And the moon moves into the first quarter at 7:13 p.m. So I want to mention the potential for that. The first quarter is always the phase where we need to get into action regarding our intentions. Good morning, Kat. Hi. Hello, Mary Lou. Oh, from Washington. Wow. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's hot everywhere. We're having a little cooler than usual day here in Southern California, which is so nice. It's still going to get into the lower 90s, but that's cool for what has been happening. So the first quarter is where you take action. And that's why when you set your intentions last week, you put 3 action steps under each intention, calendared them. So the holiday always tells us to take a break, celebrate, connect with those that are family and extended family. And it tells us to take the time so that our well is full when we step into the first quarter phase, where we have committed to and calendared those action steps, 3 action steps under each intention, and make sure that we're on track with our fuelization. Because with Cancer being an emotional cycle, a water cycle, fuelization is really, really powerful. And it's a way to keep yourself on track if you start to be pulled back into the past, because the moon rules memory. So oftentimes the Cancer cycle pulls us back into the past. Well, that's good if we can call what we need to learn, get the awareness, and move on and eliminate what might be holding us back. But if you are mired in the past, that can be really challenging. So use your fuelization, continually work with that. I work with it before bed. I work with it in the morning. Just say your intention out loud. I happily and thankfully create and drop. You drop into your heart and feel what it feels like. Reignite, realign that frequency. And remember that today is produced by yesterday. But today, what you do, what you feel, produces tomorrow. And it helps you live in the now, which is the only point of true power and the only reality anyway, right? So one way or another, a new chapter has begun. So encourage your inner child to come out and play. And of course, today is a good day to do that too. Enjoy the sunshine and have fun as you take action on your intentions. As you gather what you need and take steps to beautify your home and fill your well to overflowing with that which nurtures you, allow yourself to play and express more of your personal creativity. Have fun with colors and textures. Add potted plants and flowers. And don't forget that water element to keep the energy of abundance flowing. Now, at this point, of course, the moon is in Libra, which is an air element. So harmony in your thoughts, very important. Good boundaries. And health-wise, use the water element to recharge this month. If you are not aware of it all the time, then this is the month to celebrate your return to that awareness. And one way is to make swimming a regular part of your exercise routine. Another is to turn your bathroom into a mini spa and a place of serenity for yourself. Light candles and incense, maybe some music. Put a do not disturb sign on the door if you don't live alone and you find that you might be disturbed. And then fill your tub with herbs and flowers, essential oils, or wonderful bubbles or bath salts, and relax and soak and enjoy. Or if you don't have a tub, stand under the shower. Get wet top to toe and breathe. Allow the water to wash away all the emotional residue, all the way down to your toes, through every cell, every time you enter your watery private sanctuary. So, as the moon's in Libra, as we enter the first quarter, relationships are a big focus. Libra's all about relationships, our relationship to everything, as well as everyone. So old fears and ways of reacting show you where you need to cut ties with old energies so you can become more present. If you found that healthy boundaries are one of your challenges, take a big step forward by acknowledging internal wars and control issues that have their roots in the past. You'll be able to ground yourself and tune into what others are feeling, where they're really coming from, and then your responses will be in harmony with what's really going on. And if you were born during this phase, take action to release beliefs that are a symptom of outmoded conclusions and conditioning. And the questions to ask yourself as we move into this first quarter phase, and it's Wednesday at 7:13 p.m. on the West Coast, so it's really Thursday when you wake up that you're going to really be in the first quarter phase. You're going to really feel it. So ask yourself what actions you're going to take to move forward on your new moon intentions. And then acknowledge what you're doing first regarding each intention. And are you having fun? It's always a really good question to ask yourself. Virgo, for instance, can be the workaholic of the zodiac, the moon we're in today. And that can make things kind of serious. And Libra can get serious in relationships, and not honor good boundaries. So you always want to look at the moon and say, okay, what's the high side of this? Virgo particularly has to remember to be of service to itself and not to try to micromanage life, to live life, not figure it out or analyze it to death. So on Thursday, there could be some family squabbles. And it's really good to explore the deeper reasons there. You'll be really encouraged to do that after 10:14 p.m. Thursday night, when the moon moves into Scorpio, which is much better at deep diving, so to speak. You might find that reconciliation isn't fostered too much if there's squabbles, but if you have the willingness to look deeper and drop into your heart, you may have some magic and miracles happen, and some deeper connections. I find that those are possible. The sun's going to be square Chiron, so that's that's where we may have some stuff come up that needs healing. So be willing to have those conversations. And remember, drop into your heart, keep a compassionate attitude. Self-compassion and other compassion. One flows from the other. And then Friday morning, people are going to be sensitive. So just be aware of that. And again, because that sun square Chiron emphasis continues. So open your heart and avoid judgment to promote breakthroughs and ease defensive tendencies. Now, tomorrow, we have Mercury sextile Mars. Mercury in Cancer, Mars in Taurus. So these are two signs. Water and earth are slow elements. Air and fire are quick. But water and earth are slower. So you've heard me say many times, we're being asked to slow down to speed up. So this is an example of that. Christopher Renstrom used the example of the tortoise and the hare in Aesop's fables, where the hare is the urge for Mars to go fast. And Taurus and Cancer are represented by the tortoise, which ultimately wins the race because he takes step by step and continues and perseveres. While the hare lunges ahead and then takes a nap. And as he takes a nap, the tortoise sees him in the distance, napping. And as the tortoise starts to move past, the hare wakes up. He begins to yawn and wakes up and thinks, I've got this. But the tortoise, because of its perseverance and its slow, steady pace, wins the race. So this is what this reminds you. And you may feel at cross purposes, especially if you're someone who has a lot of Mars energy. But slow and steady wins the race. And this is a lot of what Uranus, which is our breakthrough to freedom, power to the people, freedom to the people. And it is going to happen. But it's reminding us that Uranus has a 7-year transit to show us that it's a slow, steady, solid, persevering attitude that gets us where we want to go. It's funny that it's called the human race, isn't it? Humanity, I think, is better because, but we are in a little bit of a race to be more human, to really rise to the potential of our humanness. So as we come to Friday, I mentioned that people might be sensitive and people might be defensive because of that sensitivity. Others might be defensive. So just remember to open your heart and release judgment, to just not judge. Because oftentimes if someone's defensive, it's an opportunity for them to see what's up, what's being dredged up, but they may not recognize that. And that's okay. Everybody's got their own soul growth. And it's really important to just maintain your frequency, stay on that high flying frequency. And you'll find also that you have less and less of attraction of the people that are defensive. Although sometimes we do a service for each other. It may even spark something in us where our defenses come up. We're like, well, what's that about? An opportunity. We continue. And the Scorpio moon always reminds us that we are still in the wake of that lunar eclipse, that total lunar eclipse that we had in Scorpio. It's going to be going on until the fall, where the old emotional blockages come up so that we can eliminate the hurts, use the Ho'oponopono. Surrender and forgiveness are big, wonderful tools. And Ho'oponopono is that mantra that says, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, over and over again. And you can direct it at anything or anyone or yourself, which is the ultimate, where everything resides, right? When we talk about responsibility. And then on Saturday, the moon is opposite Uranus. And so that may cause some puzzling upsets, but ultimately it's an opportunity to breathe and rise as the moon, the emotional moon, is opposing the great awakener, Uranus. Oh, thank you, Daniela. Yeah, these are my 4th of July babies. Yeah, great to see you check in. So I want to go to just a little bit of what I have. The thing that's really, really cool about this sextile, this opposition that we have, is that it's going to bring some realizations, some ahas. So this week sort of builds to this aha time as we feel the push, some of the pushy energies that are dredging things up, sometimes reflected by other people, and sometimes, and then we recognize it within ourselves. There's only one of us here after all, right? So we are mirrors for each other. And on Sunday at 1:34 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the moon moves into Sagittarius. I always find that it's such a big shift when the moon shifts from Scorpio, which is very deep and emotional, and asks us to be emotionally courageous and honest, into Sagittarius, which is very optimistic, upbeat energy. By comparison, it's fire, it's spirit. And so, with the sun, then on the 10th, the sun is sextile Uranus, and that's very animated energy. So, adventure might call you. Where do you want to take a risk? That's been one of the themes going on since the Sagittarius full moon last month. Hi, Francine. Hello. Thank you. Blessings to you as well. So as we look at this dance with Uranus that's going on is going to produce on the 13th, the full moon, a culmination around something that might have been in the wind for you for a year or for years. Something that you might have been working on kind of in secret, just kind of, kept it close to yourself and just kept working with your soul growth and your purpose and the steps that might not have seemed to make sense, or you might not have seemed to be in alignment. But on the 13th, we've got this full moon coming that's going to involve, Pluto and Ceres. And so this is the time when it really, comes, something that's been put into action now comes to a full realization. And so the thing to remember, since this is Taurus, like Cancer's stealthy energy, and Taurus is this persevering energy. And you're reminded to not gloat when this happens. The tendency might be to go out and yell to the world, hurrah, I did it. Look at this. But you want to kind of continue. It's like not putting your baby out into the world too soon, right? Because there are dream stealers out there, and the energy can get diluted. So don't give yourself away too much because you could become a target. That's the thing. And remember, in the year of big dreams, we're in the year of the big dream and taking a leap of faith. So, the full moon, even though it's got some complications, some challenging energy with it, it also has a payoff coming. So remember that as these energies build. So I mentioned freedom, and I mentioned freedom through the zodiac, and that the lesson we're being taught is that freedom implies personal responsibility. And it asks us to look at where we're willing to take on the mantle of responsibility, the ability to respond to our life as various things arise, various challenges. And so I went through each sign, and I just thought a little bit about how each sign gives us an opportunity to look at freedom in our lives. And definitely, if you think of something else as I go through these that you've experienced because you hold a lot of strong placements in these signs, then put it in the chat. Let me know. So with Aries is free to be focused on the self and to be the bold pioneer with bold ideas. Oh, good. Francine says this resonates. Thank you. And so Taurus finds freedom in nature and taking care of one's needs, savoring life, appreciating being in a physical body and taking care of your physical body, and being sure of your values and your self-worth, your own self-valuation. This is the ground. When Taurus is solid, then it has freedom. When it knows that it's not about having enough, but that if you are enough, you have enough. In Cancer, freedom comes through nurturing, first filling one's own well, and then feeling free from a loving heart to nurture others, and to ask yourself, what fills your well? To give yourself the freedom to fill your well with what truly nourishes you, and to to enjoy your family, but also your inner child. You find freedom if you really are a good mother to yourself, and you bring your inner child into your awareness to play and create with you every day, so that you have a base of safety and security. In Leo, it's the freedom to follow your heart and to live with passion. So that brings freedom to Leo. And also to flirt, be romantic. That's Leo. And to roar, your passion to the world at times. In Virgo, it's the freedom through work as love made visible. And it's the freedom to be organized, to be able to analyze and look at the important details, the significant details, and to be of service. Virgo finds freedom through service. Being of service to oneself first, taking care, because it's the sign of physical health. So it finds freedom through really not being hypochondriacal, because that can be a Virgo thing too, but to just really take care of one's health. And also to honor the environment and the earth. We're in the couple of days of the Virgo moon right now, and it is the ecologist of the zodiac, an earth sign. So in Libra, it's the freedom through sharing and co-creating with others. Finds freedom when it doesn't try to, do everything itself, but the freedom that comes through teamwork and through sharing and through finding win-win solutions to challenges. And finding balance and harmony in situations is a pathway to freedom with Libra energy. Is this resonating? Are you folks out there with these different energies finding that this hits home? Or do you have something that you want to add as far as your way to freedom? And when we come to Scorpio, it's the freedom to feel deeply, to plumb the depths of your emotions, and to explore and connect to the deep mysteries of life. The shamanic, the occult realms. That's the way that Scorpio finds freedom, especially if it feels over emotional and in bondage, so to speak, to these emotions. Sagittarius, the freedom to be optimistic and shift your beliefs to align with new truths, and also freedom through growth and opportunity, freedom through expanding your awareness and exploring new horizons, embracing life as an adventure, and being willing to release old beliefs. Oh, great. Wonderful, Kat. Thank you. She said, you answered the question, laugh out loud, as she thought of it. I love it when that happens. So, yeah, to be willing. Beliefs, truth is truth. Whatever's the truth for you. For me, one of the truths is that we are love, created from, connected to, sustained by, and communicated with through love by source. And so for me, that's the truth. But there are a lot of beliefs, especially during these past few years, that I have pushed aside, that I've realized were just beliefs, old programming, not true for me any longer. So that can set Sagittarius energy free. And with Capricorn, it's the freedom to practice self-mastery. A Libra Scorpio, Francine says, it hits home. Oh, great, I'm on point. Wonderful, thank you. Yeah. And so, Capricorn it's considered at times to be the CEO of the zodiac. So it can have a desire for control, but it's not about mastering the environment or having control over resources, so to speak, as much as self-mastery. Practicing self-mastery, that provides freedom for Capricorn. And also the freedom to take responsibility, to create a step-by-step strategy to get where you're going, to manifest your goals, to be a good leader. And then Aquarius, the freedom to express your unique genius. We each have a unique genius. And Aquarius, and now Uranus and Taurus squaring that, is asking us to turn corners and find out what that truly is. And have a vision for humanity that's aligned with a new consciousness for the future. And this is the thing that's required now with all the the balls being thrown up in the air, so to speak. Not in any of the old formations that they were, and yet there's an absolute effort to keep those balls in the old position. But they've all been thrown up in the air. The apple carts are being upset so that we can develop a new consciousness, because consciousness creates. So the consciousness, we have to free ourselves in consciousness to see a new way, a new vision for ourselves and the planet. And Pisces is the freedom. Freedom comes through dreaming, imagineering, dancing, being the poet, and connecting to spirit. Staying in touch with the things that inspire you so that you don't go into the frequency of suffering and victimhood, but you rise to that creator that you truly are. So those are some of the things that have to do with freedom on this 4th of July. I don't know what's been rolling around for you. I'd love to know what's been rolling around for you regarding what freedom means right now. A lot of our laws, etc., are being challenged. But remember to stay on your high-flying disc. Stay in your high frequency. Really become present with what's around you. And, one of the things with, did I mention Gemini? I think I skipped right over Gemini. No, I didn't. I didn't skip over Gemini. But the thing with Gemini is freedom comes through choosing your own narrative. Not allowing the media, which is controlled by Gemini. I mean, it's under the aegis of the sign Gemini, I should say. And so the media can just be, I ran into a friend yesterday who's a doctor, and she said she's on Facebook all day long. It's like, wow, really? Well, hopefully it's all uplifting stuff. And in that case, it can be a good touchstone. But, I really don't feel that the news, mainstream news and media, is uplifting. I feel that it's programming. That's why it's called programming. And it's really, really good to just shut it off. You'll find out what you need to know. If you're connected to your community and you're at a calm frequency or a high frequency, you'll have come to you what you need. And remember, your greatest gift to the world is your vibration. That's what I feel. So if you are in love with yourself and in love with life, and sometimes it's great to just I remember another friend of mine yesterday said that she's goes around, she'll be in her car and she'll be saying, I love you, I love you. And she said, even if someone cuts her off in traffic, she'll say, I love you. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to live your life, to stay in love and appreciation, because that's true freedom, the freedom to love. And your attitude, there was a book by Dr. Malta years ago called Psycho Cybernetics. And he was put in prison for some years, and in a foreign country. And they tried to break him in every way that they possibly could. But ultimately, the thing that he realized that came out of this, which formed the science of psychocybernetics, is that your attitude is inviolate. You have control over your attitude. And that's the freedom that cannot be taken away. And the consciousness that follows that and is aligned with freedom will guide you to where you need to go. A lot of people are moving about now, and a lot of people are looking for community. And it's a very exciting time. It is filled with challenges, because as our DNA is repatterned, the old stuff comes knocking at our door, right? Some stuff that we might have had repressed for years and years. So that's what I have for you today. I wish you a really happy, safe holiday. Enjoy everything about your life. Enjoy your fabulosity. Celebrate that. And that there's that song by Katy Perry, you're a firework. You're the one igniting the path in your own life. That's ever true, because you are the light. You are the light of the world. You are the change you want to see in the world. And if you practice that, it's inevitable. Your breakthrough, your freedom is inevitable. But take responsibility for your frequency, for your vibration, and tap into the rhythms of the moon and the heavens, because they support you from within. They're within you in their own unique mandala. If you'd like a reading session, also go to the landing page and you'll see the links. I have some audio readings available, as well as a full lunar session. And as we build now from July, August, September, October, we build from now till October. In October, it's like a crescendo that climaxes in October. So if you want to use these energies for your highest good and greatest joy, book an appointment. I'd love to interact with you. And so that's it for now. Next week, we'll be talking about the full moon. And we've got these amazing energies, these sextiles coming up this week. And that sextiles always hold a promise about the energy. So it's a good week, and it's a great week to move forward, on things that began a long time ago, that you have been holding close to your heart and putting the pieces together. So it's an exciting time. It's also a challenging month, because a lot of things are coming up big time in the collective and on the world stage. And I encourage you to reach for the moon, to empower yourself, to stay in love with yourself and life, because now, as always, I love you to the moon and way beyond.